Yo, 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 what is up? We are back. Seems like things are changing a little bit for this evening. Um, we've got technical difficulties with one of our normal co-hosts this evening, and the other one kind of wanted us to watch basketball, but might be showing up. So right now, it's just me and you. I've got a couple other invites out there. Oh, Raphael, you're too nice. Gotta say what's up to Raphael. He's asking everybody to like and subscribe. I really appreciate that, Raphael. One of the cornerstones in the 49ers content community. Supporters, I mean, I don't you're not real 49ers content creator if Raphael hasn't blessed you in his chat, in your chat, at least once. Oh, we got Damian Lee in the house. What is up, Damian Lee? You know it. We out here pulling strings with the pinky rings. Bucker up. Bucker up. Yep. We got Bang Bang Niner Gang. I want to ask you all. You guys see that JT O'Sullivan video? Oh man, here we go. What up, Randy Daytona? I'm generally unliked by most. Hey, it's okay. We like those people here. Because let's face it, a lot of the league doesn't like the 49ers. Especially they don't want to see them when it comes playoff time. They don't want to get smacked in the face by us. Chat's all getting lit. Yeah, that JT O'Sullivan interview. There's some things that I think in there that I think were something that really needed to be addressed. It seems like Kyle doesn't want to really evolve his passing scheme. JT O'Sullivan kind of explained that he kind of only runs like 3 schemes. And to me, I saw, let's see, was it Grant Cohn? Grant Cohn mentioned something about, if you look, you've got a whole bunch of Kyle's systems, essentially his coaching tree out and about there in the league. But what you don't see is a lot of them have Super Bowl wins, except for Sean McVay, who seemed to prioritize the passing scheme over the running scheme the year that he won his championship. So I'm wondering, is Trey Lance getting the cold shoulder kind of by them because Kyle's not willing to change up his passing scheme to suit Trey Lance? Because Kyle doesn't know how to draw up a passing scheme other than the 3 he already uses. So that's my big conspiracy theory. And I think JT O'Sullivan kind of brought that to light for me. To me, I don't see why you wouldn't be taking passing concepts from all around the league, especially North Dakota State. You know what I mean? Where Trey Lance was from, where he showed he could work in a system like that. I don't understand why you don't take some passing concepts from them, marrying it with your run style. It seems unintuitive to me. What up, Tommy? Or sorry, Tony. What up, Tony? What up, Nathan? Tony and Tommy. Sorry, Tony. You don't deserve that, Tony. You're much a nicer person than Tommy is. Not that Tommy's a bad person, but you're just a nicer person than Tommy is. And I'm sure he would agree with that. So let it be written. So let it be done. Ooh, you're dropping some ominous tones there. Do you guys think that Kyle should get a pass on this? Like, I understand that, he could do all this stuff, but if he can't get us a Super Bowl and he's just going to let Trey Lance walk or, trade him and this and that without trying to figure out some way for him to work inside your system, I don't know. Does that negate all your offensive genius? You know what I'm saying? If you can't win a Super Bowl, Trey Lance goes off to another another system, becomes good in that. I'm not saying he's got to be an MVP, but somewhat, it's got to be good in some sort of way. And Kyle's going to stand here with no Super Bowl and talk about, I made the right decision. I don't know. I see a lot of people out here with these takes, and you've got Larry Krueger talking about the 49ers are going to trade Trey Lance because they really like him. And that's why they're going to trade him, is because they really appreciate him and they want to see him do something good on another team. Well, if that's the case, then why aren't we trading Kyle Shanahan? Because he hasn't proved he could win a Super Bowl. He's been given the opportunity a couple different times. He's grasped it and he still can't come up with it. Is he in the way of getting himself over the hump? That's my real big question coming up. And I feel that answer is maybe 2 to 3 years away from revealing itself one way or another. And by then we might have been 10 years into this regime. So I don't know. What up, Jess? I'm sure she's excited about all this talk. Yeah. Also, let's move to something a little more cheery. Drake Jackson. It seems like there's going to be I would say the fans believe that Drake Jackson is supposed to have a really good year this year. If he has the same type of year as he did last year, what are your guys' feelings on that? We need another year. Definitely needs another year in the system. If he doesn't jump off the page this year? If he's not being activated, if there's like all these questions about why he's not on the field, what's the answer? Is he just not a guy? Are they using him in the wrong way? I don't know. He could be in a 3-4. That's what I'm saying. He could be in a 3-4. They got him for our 4-3. He's our speed rusher. That's why he could play in a 4-3, is because he's the speed rusher type. You don't see a lot of big guys in the 4-3 who are speed rushers. But this is the thing. When you put somebody out there on third down, if they get that first down and they don't make any substitutions and they go hurry up, well, they can keep that guy on the field. So if Drake Jackson, or if Javon Hargrave, who isn't a good run blocker either, if they get stuck out of there in any kind of series and they get exploited at all, that could be an issue. Something I see going on. I don't know. I can't tell you for sure. Oh, sorry. Breathing's still a little tough. Broke my rib yesterday, so bear with me. I feel a lot better. I can actually think today. Yesterday, I was kind of just like going through the motions. I had Bashar on. I don't know. I don't even remember how the show went. I just was happy I got it done. Yeah. Walking on the stairs, man. It slipped. I had my socks on. I caught myself, and I think I think how I caught myself made the fall even worse somehow. If that could be possible. Yeah, I heard a pop. I don't know if I knocked the wind out of myself or if the pain just took my breath away, but there I was in the middle of the stairs, bent over on one stair with my head and arms on another stair, trying to get my breathing going. First day of your new rest. This is the second time. Oh, this is the second time I've fallen. It's like my foot came out from underneath me. They're real slippery stairs. and my foot just slipped off. And this is the second time it happened. Last time I just landed with my spine on the stair. That didn't feel too good. And my foot stuck underneath this little, I don't know, like a little desk thing she's got on the stairs. That was kind of fun. But this last one wasn't. Oh no. Oh no. Not fun. Yeah. But that's where we're at. Drake Jackson. What's your guys' thought on Drake Jackson? Is he going to have another good year? Or sorry, is he going to have a better year than last year? Is he going to expand on the production? Because what he had last year on the very limited snaps he had was good production, I think. He had a lot of batted balls, which batted balls, if he's playing on third down and he's got a lot of batted balls, that means a lot of non-third down conversions. That means punting, which I like. I don't care if you get to the quarterback or not. If you can stop him on third down in any sort of way, tip pass, batted ball, fumble, sack, it's all good for me. Get him off the field. That's what I like. The biggest guy on the defense, I think, that's going to have the biggest leap this year. Oh, what up? What up, Jesse? Gotta say what's up. Appreciate you stopping in, sir. If you don't already know, Last Second Sports, I'm sure you already know him, but he's got another channel. And if you go to his channel, it should be under his, what do you call him? Should be under his affiliated channels. And you can go in there and check out his second channel. He's doing big things over there. He started that second channel to talk about news of the All NFL. So please go over and subscribe to that channel so you can keep your ear to the street on things happening in the rest of the NFL. And we got G9 Garage in the house. What up, sir, for stopping by? Bebop says draft to safety. Yeah, draft to safety. I think a corner's another good one. I really want a tight end. One of those 3 picks in the third, I want to be a tight end. I think tight end and the 22 personnel, if we had an actual threat as our second tight end too, I mean, the things we could do. You could come out, you could run it down the throat on them, just pushing grown men around. And then once you got that defensive line all gassed out, okay, no substitution, spread it out, 5 wide receivers. Okay, now we got mismatches on our on our tight ends, on our full backs. You know what I mean? Just mismatches all across the board now, and then we can just start cutting them up. That's how I would go down the field. I would make them spend timeouts just to give their team a break. I'm telling you, I would run on them. I would run on them till they had to just sell out the run, and then I would pop them 5 wide and just start killing, make them use up their timeouts to try and make substitutions, and then I go right back to running the ball again. I run the ball once they made their substitution. Be in the same formation, I run the ball on. What up? What up? What up?
What's up, sir?
Not much. Kind of talking some Niner talk. How's the Lakers doing right now?
They're behind by 2 points, but AD just got fouled and he's going up to the line.
Yeah, you can never tell the start of the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I figure I come on here. You guys might hear my birds because I'm on my phone, not on my setup in my office. So, but I wanted to come on here and keep Ryan, make sure he behaves on the channel.
I got a couple other feelers out also. Maybe Corey Davis might stop in, or Bryant Culp.
Oh, okay. What, without letting me
what
know
up, Bryant?
What?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know it was.
I'm messing with you, bro.
Not a regular chat.
I'm messing with you, bro.
Like, I don't even have a real thumbnail for this thing because I couldn't do that in a quick enough time. I was like, oh, screw it. I tried.
Did you use the intro at least?
Oh yeah, I got the intro and all that. Yeah, of course. I just wasn't able to to make one and upload it in time.
So who's in
So
the
I just
chat? I
used one
can't
of the
see the
backgrounds.
comments.
Oh, we got David McNiner. We got Randy Daytona. We got Bryant Culp. We got Jess from East Red and Gold Podcast. We got G9 Garage. We got Bebop Jones. We got Jesse from Last Second Sports.
Oh,
we got
we
Nathan
got a full
Z.
crew.
Yeah, we got, let's see, Raphael. Raphael popped in too. I don't know if I missed
Raphael
any.
560. Well, everyone that
That's
is in the
Damian
chat,
Lee,
welcome.
Tony Culp's in the house too. We got the whole family here.
All right,
Everybody
welcome everyone. Welcome to the Niners and Friends with your host.
I just touched on. Oh, I changed the name. It's not Niners and Friends right now. There's no sense doing the Niners and Friends. There's no sense. I didn't know if you were coming in. So
you just doing a Ryan show.
Yeah, I just changed the name at the last second, and so nobody would be too confused. And then
then I don't belong here then.
Nope, you're here now. You got to stay.
I'm like, I don't belong here. I can go watch my Lakers.
You can still. Oh, you're still watching your Lakers, right?
Oh yeah, I'm watching. What do you think? I'm over here in the living room.
Yeah.
It's I can watch it on my. Cause I have two monitors on my office setup, but I'm watching the game on my 75-inch TV. So.
Randy Daytona's offering Bryant Culp to just come on the show. He says Culp's available.
Up, Eric? Eric in the house.
What's up, we got Eric. Amelia.
It looks like Jesse did a drive-by.
Oh, I'm sure.
But that's cool though. He still pops in and says hello.
That's all I need. Jesse popping by to say what's up, then I know I'm on his radar, right?
Yeah, well, hey, weren't you on Grant Combs the other day?
Yeah, I did his call-in show. I wasn't like, it's not like I had like a, hey, everybody, it's No Border Sports. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you were on his call-in show.
Yeah.
Oh,
he does that. He takes his call-in show and then...
Oh, I thought you were like his guest.
I don't know if I'm at that level yet. I don't know if I'm really at that level yet.
Who is it?
I do a little. I do a little too much. You know what I'm talking about. A little too much. Which I'm working on. Tommy, you're not here, but I'm working. I'm pretending like you're here at all times now. It's like it was on the show.
Let me answer this question real quick for Sean. Sean asked me, who won the duck race? On Saturday night, it was Tony.
It was Tony
once again taking her crown away from Terradome the week before. So, so she took her belt back.
I was just happy my duck wasn't playing this week. I still feel like I got robbed at the last second, but at least my duck wasn't a plain ass duck. You know what I mean? I want a duck with a little bit of personality, and my duck had personality last week. Hey, crackheads got some personality.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
One thing you wanted to talk about. Yeah. Well, I touched on Drake Jackson. In the chat you were talking about saying you wanted to touch on him, so I'd love to get your take on him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was just reading the Athletic earlier today, and they were talking about the D-line, how John Lynch and Kyle really want to get back to that 2019 dominance. We were the number one defense last year, but we were kind of lacking a little bit of dominance when it came from that front line. I mean, it was astonishing when I read that Nick Bosa had 18 and a half sacks, but Samson, Ikram, Amani Hugh, and I forgot who the other guy was, but there were three players that are no longer on the team. They had a combined 11 and a half sacks. amongst all three of them. And that's not good. When you have one guy doing 18 and a half and you have the other three only doing 11 and a half, there's no dominance there.
And
And the fact,
I believe
go
Amenahue had 8 of those 11 and a half.
yeah. So it's it's terrible that we have that lack of production, and the fact that we added someone like Hargrave to this D line is going to just now we have two dogs that can really go after the quarterback, and that's going to evaluate Eric Armstead. As we know, he plays better when it's not dependent on him to do so. And Dre Jackson is the that question mark as can he be that D Ford guy? And I think he can. I think he had like four and a half sacks or 3.5 sacks last year, and he didn't play that much. And so if he can come in this year and get at least 6 sacks from him, my goodness, how dangerous this line can be. And we all know that it makes the linebackers better. It makes the secondary better. Our secondary is already good, but now you put a lot of pressure from the front in the middle, particularly in the middle with Hargrave, and allows Bosa just to roam free. Because who are you going to double cover? Bosa? Then
Yes.
Hargrave will kill you. If you double cover Hargrave, Bosa will kill you. And if you decide to cover both Bosa and Hargrave, well, now you have Eric Armstead and Jackson that they'll take the one-on-ones and they can penetrate and make you pay for it. So people don't realize just that one addition of Hargrave, how much this D line is going to transform from last year.
And when you add somebody like Hargrave to the interior of the defensive line, the teams are going to want to double team the guy on the inside of the line more so than on the outside. The reason being is they got a shorter path to the quarterback. So I think Javon Hargrave's signing, I think just signed, the fact that I just kind of made it possible for, I think, Bosa to go ahead and maybe try and beat that record next year. Because if they're smart, they're going to be selling out to try and stop Hargrave up the center. More so than they're going to try and chip Bosa on the outside. You know what I mean? So I think our defensive ends are going to have a good year this year. I just want to see how Drake Jackson steps up. I think he's
a mystery box.
He's
definitely a mystery box.
Bryant, what's your thoughts about? Sorry, go ahead.
What's up, Bryant? No, I was looking at the comments and I just turned my phone around and I noticed Brian was in here. I just wanted to say, what's up, Brian?
Yeah, I want to get everybody. Brian's thought on Drake Jackson.
So my thoughts on Jackson. Oh my gosh, if we can get the investment out of him that we are hoping for, that's going to be great, isn't it? Like if you can have Drake on one side and Bosa on the other side, and then we have Armstead and we have Hargrave in the middle, they're going to, who do you double team at that point, right? The tight end can't run out. The tight end will have to stay in and block. The running back will have to stay in and block. It's going to be too much pressure coming too fast. And then if for whatever reason, if the linebackers want to blitz, you got 4 guys, now 6 guys coming. And now it's a lot of guys to try to block. It really is, because the quarterback, he doesn't block. He's supposed to stand there and get the ball out. So when you have like 5 guys in the backfield where you have your offensive line, now you're adding a tight end, you got 6 guys, and we got guys that need to be double teamed or even potentially triple teamed. Oh man, but we have to see if we can get that investment out of him. And that's why I'm really hoping that like Armstead, whatever you got to do, ice your feet every day. I know your plantar fasciitis goes to one foot to the other foot. Whatever you got to do, I want you to come in healthy. Hargrave, we expect everything out of him. Bosa, if he's not getting double teamed, you imagine it's like going to be Armstead, Hargrave, Bosa. How do you if Drake Jackson's not getting double teamed, he's got to perform. And if he's getting even half teamed, or even if it's just straight one on one, he's got to do something to, overperform. And maybe that's where we got Fred Warner being the captain, who needs to, at least at that point, think, okay, this is the time I need to blitz. This is the time I need to just pull something out of nowhere. And I can see they're not going to favor this side. They're leaving him one on one, and maybe I can get in there. So it's a lot of intangibles for everybody, but we have to have Drake Jackson step up. If not, then we got to go for another edge this year. And I think really too, if you see him go for an edge this draft, that means they maybe don't believe so much in Drake Jackson.
Well, I also want to just add real quick, Ryan, if I can.
Yeah.
I wanted just to add that me being a Clemson Tiger fan, Clemson Farrell is I don't think he was utilized properly with the Raiders. I think this kid was a 4th pick overall. Remember, he came out the same year Bosa came out, 2 picks after Bosa. He was taken by the Raiders. I think under Chris Kocurek, this kid can really improve his pass rushing skills and take advantage. I mean, you don't get picked number 4th overall if you're not good in college. So I expect him, if we can get a combination between him and Jackson, man, we're going to be good in that side of the ball.
They did a lot of weird picks that year. So I don't want to say, because I don't think the rest of the league thought he was a 4th overall pick. But I'm not saying that he's not a first round draft pick potential. You know what I mean? It seemed like they picked a lot of people. Yeah. But we know that Chris Kocurek is like the defensive end whisperer. So who knows? We got first round talent in the building for cheap, and Chris Kocurek going to get his hands on him. Who knows? Drake Jackson might be the third best defensive end, by the end of training camp. And I think we're always going to go pick a defensive end in the draft. I think that's just how it's going to be. I have a feeling one of those third round picks is going to be a defensive end. Just got what's up?
All right. Does it have to be a defensive end, or can we agree it's a defensive lineman? Because it seems like we go back to like the DeForest Buckner, we go back to Armstead, and from there it's almost every year we always go defensive line. And I know sometimes it's an edge, but can we agree it's a defensive line overall? I mean, because when you say edge,
I can't, because I think it's edge.
Well, I don't think every year we draft an edge, but I think every year we'll be drafting defensive line.
Well, I'm talking about with their best pick. They've been going, defensive edge, or they've gone line, but it seems like they're trying to go edge all the time. And they're trying to get that other bookend for Bosa. That's why
that makes sense, Ryan, because you have people, even whether you like Kinlaw or not, the fact that Kinlaw is going to be on a minimum count, he's going to be able to go in there and be productive behind Hargrave. And then you still have Kalia Davis that I think he's going to be a great DJ Jones type of player. So I think edge is somewhere where they have to strengthen that edge, not only on the side of but who comes in for Bosa if Bosa needs to take a breather, or God forbid something happens to him. So we need to strengthen that edge. I think the center, the 2 guys in the middle, we already are pretty much good. I'm not saying they won't draft in the middle, but I think if they do take a pick first with one of those 3rd rounds, it would have to be edge in my opinion as well.
Oh, I most definitely agree. Like, it's going to probably be edge, but just overall, if you look at like the philosophy of the Niners for maybe the last 10 or 15 years, it's been defensive line. And yeah, you could say edge, or you can say, in the middle, but it's just one of those things. You've got
Eric Armstead. You've got Eric Armstead. You just got Javon Hargrave. I don't see them going with a high pick to get a defensive tackle. We still don't know who's going to be our other edge. And that's why I think it's just totally obvious. But now also, that doesn't mean they're not getting a defensive tackle in this draft. But like I said, we don't need them to start. So therefore, I don't see them taking them with the high pick. And with how Coach Chris Kasarik is, we don't need to draft a defensive tackle high at all. The reason being is they're gonna need 2 years to get their NFL body anyways. So why draft them high when they're not even be able to be out there anyways? You can spend that 2 years teaching them everything that they needed to know, like if you were gonna play them the first year. So I redshirt my tackles 2 years.
Yeah, and that really is a good thing, you know, and every one of us right here are agreeing with it. The defensive line, the defensive edges, the tackles, you know, that's something that the Niners have been going after almost every year for several years. We tried to build a line right there, and it just didn't happen. We had Solomon Thomas that didn't work out. We had a couple other guys that just didn't work out, but they didn't go after quarterback. So the Niners believe in building that defensive line more than building a quarterback. And
Yep.
Yep.
I totally agree with you there. In fact, if you go back to just Kyle Shanahan, supposedly, like ever since he was a kid playing Madden, first thing he'd do when drafting teams in Madden was pick the best defensive end that he could get, because he knew that pass rush was going to. And now there's been a lot of talk about Kyle and his philosophy lately, and saying how, you know, Kyle puts all this emphasis on the defensive line when we see that the NFL refs don't necessarily want to be, or the NFL does not want the defense to be any sort of determining factor in the game. So they've made it so holding doesn't matter anymore, and they really don't care about anything like that. And so people are saying, are you wasting money in the wrong places? When, you know, obviously they're calling defensive pass interference, but they're not calling offensive holding. You know what I mean? So does anybody have any thoughts on that? Beto, I can hear your TV, just so you know.
Okay. What was the score? What's happening on TV?
I don't know. I just hear him talking. Yeah, the Lakers are definitely playing.
Oh, I thought I had it on mute. I thought I had it on mute. My bad.
Oh, you're good.
I'm too busy looking at the game. I didn't realize I was unmuted.
Go ahead, Beto.
But regarding the non-call on the pass rusher or roughing the passer, it's I think it's ridiculous, especially when there's so many holding on the offensive guards that they get away with, and it's unfair for that to take place, man. I think they should have passed it, but it's neither here. I don't know if they'll bring it up again or if they can bring it up. Probably not, but they should really revisit that.
Do you think it's short-sightedness from Kyle to be building his defense around a defensive line when they can be subjected to all these penalties and such, when you could probably put money and resources into another place where, you know what I mean? Like the league is an offensive league. So like if he was putting money into, like, let's say, you know, like everybody else, the quarterback, you know what I mean? Would that be a better strategy than to be putting it in a defensive line that seems to be, you know, nitpicked by the refs a lot more than the quarterbacks?
Well, being nitpicked is one thing, and you're right. That's not right or fair. But I'll say this: you always want to dominate within the trenches on both sides of the ball. And one of the areas that we've been really good at is our D line. And you know that, like in 2019, if that D line is humming and being productive and putting pressure, look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers couldn't do shit in those games against us because of that pressure. You can do that. You can pretty much manage everything else. So I would still want to put that emphasis on the D line and put that pressure on that opposing quarterback and make him make some mistakes, because that quarterback makes some mistakes. Guess who takes advantage of it? Our secondary, and we can make plays.
Yeah, I like it. I'm not against it. I don't think right now it's to the point where you need to actually change up your philosophy? I just think it's a good question to ask people. Bryant, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, okay. Overall, if you can stop a quarterback on the opposing team, that's great, right? But and really, if you can, then you can make a subpar quarterback look better, right? Maybe a quarterback that probably shouldn't beat an MVP can come in and win that game, because it's not necessarily quarterback playing versus quarterback, it's quarterback playing versus the opposing defense. So if your defense is shutting down whoever's coming in, it's really up to your quarterback to make it happen. And I think that's really a lot of people's problem with Jimmy G, is he wasn't healthy, or he threw those interceptions or whatever. He didn't make it happen when we wanted it to happen, right? So I think, having a defense that can rush and put pressure on a quarterback is very important. I think the league has been changing a whole lot for the last couple of years. The defense, the rules and stuff has been changing. And I don't think the Niners are necessarily worried about how the defense is changing and the rules are changing so much, because if you look back in prior years, we got rushed on so hard. Like the rushing records and stuff got broken on us. People are rushing over 100 yards on us every game. And then what happened? We come in and we build a backbone to our defense, and then offenses stopped rushing over 100 yards on us. We started holding teams to 50, 60 yards a rush, and we started having a number one defense. So by us solidifying, with the D line or the defensive edges and stopping the run, maintaining the quarterback, we've become a number one defense. We don't put a lot of money in the corners. We don't put a lot of money in the safeties. It's the guys in the middle and the defensive line. And I think with that mentality, the Niners really truly believe we can win. I think it's just been a couple bad decisions, and we can go back and forth. But if they would have tried, they did try. But if they would have been successful in getting a veteran quarterback prior to all these years happening, we might be sitting here with a couple rings.
Yeah, could be sitting here with a couple rings, bro. It's sad. But also, well, definitely one, because if you get that second, after you get that first one, you get a lot of attrition. You know what I mean? You lose a lot of guys. So we might not have been in a position to make, that second run, but doesn't mean we couldn't have. You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys on this team, that are here because they want to be here. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I get this feeling that Kittle's going to be here forever. Debo, I don't know about, but he's at the Cabo Club, so who knows?
The Cabo Club. That is hilarious.
Dude. Go ahead.
You got to be part of the Cabo Club. I got a feeling that you could be part of that pretty soon. The trajectory where he's going. Listen, our question mark is definitely the quarterback position. Although I think that's going to be resolved. I think Brock Purdy is the future of this team. People keep talking about his height and his weak arm. There's nothing he can do about this height. Unfortunately, he'll be that height for the rest of his life unless he wears his stilettos instead of cleats on the field. But if he can grow on his arm, he can build that strength in his arm, and I just love Brock's decision making, his ability to get out of messes, his ability to read the defenses, and I just like his smarts. Now, if Trey comes in and starts showing us what we think he can be, then man, that's a great problem to have. But I think if it fails with Sam Darnold and it fails with Trey, I'm confident that we can get there with Brock Purdy for sure, and getting that defense the way it is. And man, bro, having CMC, people don't realize having CMC, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, and all those playmakers on offense, and the way Kyle Shanahan schemes the plays and schemes the receivers open, having a great defense and then having a really weak NFC side of the ball, the Niners have a very good chance of getting back there and making it all the way. But we have to get decent play of quarterback. If we can get better play, even better. But at the very worst, we need to have decent play, whether that's Trey, Sam Donald, or Brock. But we can't have the quarterbacks turning the ball over and putting our defense in bad situations all year if we expect to be contenders.
Brian, you got anything on that?
Most definitely, we cannot turn the ball over because we cannot depend on our team. We are not a ball hawking team. We haven't had a bunch of turnovers in the last recent years. Maybe last year it was a little different, right? But until you can consecutively do that, you can't say, "Oh, the defense will just turn over the ball anytime and we'll get the ball back." No, the way we get the ball back is like fumbles or something because we hit hard. But we need guys who can catch the ball. We all know that dropped interception that would have changed everybody's mentality and stuff about the team. If you had guys in the defensive back, corners and safeties that can catch the ball, then yeah, but we don't have Deion Sanders on the team anymore. We don't have guys who are just trying to catch the ball and score. We got guys who are tackling, which is great because we are that team. We are, let's stop you. Let's stop you. Let's stop you. Now you're going to punt, right? Well, that's how we get the ball back. We make you go 3 and out. But when they don't go 3 and out, so if we can somehow, get some magic from the corners and, I think the Niners got a really good chance. And that's still saying we still have the number 1 defense. We just don't have guys that are like ball hawks. And I don't think the Niners are going to ever really invest in safeties or corners.
They did, though, in the sense of bringing Hargrave to put that pressure in the front and making quarterbacks make mistakes. We're going to get more turnovers that way than we did in 2022, in my opinion.
Well,
I think that's a great point you brought up.
And that is a point, but that's investing into the defensive line again, where you're not maybe going.
But it does same things on the back end.
Well, what you are doing is you're making that quarterback window. Instead of him having 3 seconds or 4 seconds to get the ball out, and then not worrying about blown coverage, someone's getting a sack. But when that sack doesn't happen, that's when we're getting torn into, and that's what the mobile quarterbacks are hurting us is because they get that extra sack and extra second. And
it's not about the sack, it's about the pressure.
Amen.
It's about the pressure.
Yes. Pressure.
That's what he's saying. It's not about a sack that's going to help out the defense back, it's the pressure. Because that pressure up the middle on him is going to make quarterbacks going to make bad decisions really soon into their progressions. And that's if we've got a good defensive back, a defensive secondary that's all over that, we're going to see more turnovers. That's what Beto's point was.
Yeah, I'm definitely listening. I hope so. But in the past, it doesn't seem like that's.
Yeah, but you can't go by the past, bro. You got to go by what's happening right now, what we're building, and which way we're heading in the future. Listen, Gibson looks like he's a good safety. That's why we brought him back. Hufanga is coming. He's an old pro. Is going to start his second year as a starter. He's going to get better. The kid Ward, he's a great corner. And then Lenore started to become his own with having 2 interceptions, one in each playoff game other than the Philly game. Now you add someone like Hargrave that can disrupt that middle, and then the disruptiveness of Harbaugh and bringing pressure. Quarterbacks are going to make mistakes, and when they make those mistakes, you're going to have these players in position to get the ball. And that's how do you build a ball hawk type of defense, by putting pressure in the front. Either you got to cover well or you got to put pressure well. And right now, we can cover respectfully. Not great, but we can cover. If we can put that pressure, I'm telling you, our secondary would definitely benefit.
I definitely hope so, because I also think that you have to draft people that can catch. If you draft people that just tackle or draft people that can run next to somebody, that's not necessarily somebody. And the big joke, why are you playing on defense? Because you can't catch. So
that's not really true, though.
Right.
I hear what you're saying, but that's not true. Deion had no issues with that problem.
He played wide receiver too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, sometimes you just got to be at the right place at the right time. If you can do that, opportunities will happen for you. And when the quarterbacks are running around with like a chicken without a head, trying to get the ball out because they're being they're hearing footsteps, I'm telling you, that gives the defenders in the back end a better chance to make plays.
Yeah.
Most
Real quick, I did this yesterday with Bashar. Like to kind of run you guys through it today. This is what's worse.
No hablo inglés.
What's worse, Trey Lance being a bust for us, or Trey Lance being MVP for another team, or not necessarily an MVP, but a success somewhere? You know what I mean?
It all depends on it all depends on Brock, because I'm telling you, if Trey goes on to another team and becomes very successful and plays very well, but Brock is winning the Super Bowls.
Take Brock out of it, because if Brock is the one in charge, you know what I mean, then in playing, then Trey Lance wouldn't necessarily get his chance at all. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't be like he's a bust at that point. You know what I mean? He just wouldn't get his chance to be a starter. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Which just, without Brock being in the situation, what would be worse, you think, for the 49ers? It would be Trey Lance being a bust, or we move off of him and he be an MVP somewhere else?
Both can be true, but to answer your question, I think him being more of a bust for us. But because of the position that we're in, we're truly not going to know if he is a bust or not. So I guess let me turn that around. I think him being successful in another team will be worse, because I don't think the Niners will truly give him the opportunity to see what he can do. So to your question, him being successful in another team will be worse for the Niners.
What's your thoughts, Bryant?
My thoughts would be, what's worse is Trey Lance being a bust for the 49ers. Because if he's a 49er bust, right, that means the 49ers have obviously moved off of him. And then he can, what happened? Go somewhere else and then have a career somewhere else. And then that would lead into the end of your question. If he goes somewhere else and becomes an MVP, is that better for the 49ers or better for him? It's really better for him if he becomes an MVP anywhere. But it doesn't necessarily mean he'll win a Super Bowl if he becomes an MVP. We've seen how many times Matthew Stafford's won the MVP. We've seen other quarterbacks, not Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, other quarterbacks. So what would be worse for the 49ers is to have Trey a bust. That would be worse for the 49ers than to see him go somewhere else as an MVP. Because if he goes somewhere else as an MVP, it doesn't mean that he necessarily plays against the 49ers. It doesn't necessarily mean we ever have to play up against him in the Super Bowl. So I would say the worst thing for the 49ers and for Trey Lance really would be him being a bust right now, or, this upcoming season.
Oh, Beto, what's worse, Sam Darnold starting or Colton McKivitz starting?
Oh, Colton McKivitz.
Oh, you think Colton McKivitz? Okay.
I just don't like him. I don't like him at tackle, but that's a good question. Yeah. Well, dang. I guess you brought in.
I tried to make it tough.
You brought in Sam Darnold to be that third quarterback. That means that Brock and Trey Lance are both garbage compared to Sam Darnold.
Or they could have been injured. You know what I mean? For some reason, Trey Lance, Sam Darnold starting somehow.
I'm gonna have to. I know there's not the answer you're looking for, but I'm gonna have to play my fifth on this one. I don't know. I think they're both bad.
If Beto says it's a push. Bryant, which one's worse, Sam Darnold starting or Colton McKivitz?
Okay, so if Sam Darnold comes in and wins out and beats Trey Lance, right? That's not bad for the 49ers, because that means somebody like the best players coming in, right?
You're putting in things behind it. What's worse?
Well, it's not putting things behind it, because what's worse, Sam Darnold starting? Why is he starting? Or is Colt McKivitz? if Colt McKivitz is starting, that means nobody else on the offensive. And we're talking about him starting at right tackle.
Yes.
So that means the guy that we just got in isn't
Bear
worth,
with him,
right?
God, Brian.
I would say Colt McKivitz.
Okay.
Because I think Sam Darnold's got enough experience in that bad of a situation.
He's like trying to go back to how the
I know.
grandparents met. You know what I'm saying? It's like they met on a diner.
Well,
You know what I'm
if
saying?
McKivitz wakes up on the right side of the bed instead of the left side.
But does he put on his pants one leg at a time or two legs? Because I do two legs. I got a trick to that.
Rookie makes that mistake and asks that question. What you really need to know is, what's his number? Is he a sleep number guy? You know what I'm saying? What's his sleep number? You know what I mean? Maybe he don't know what his right sleep number is, and it just be throwing off his whole game, son.
Sleeping on that purple mattress.
Bro, I almost got one of them. They be doing all that stuff with the eggs and stuff. I was like, I gotta try that. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't know, look it up. The purple mattress.
Yeah. Also might have had a crush on that lady. You never know. She had hips, thighs. What's a man supposed to do?
You might put her on that mattress.
What I'm talking about. We gotta see how this works. All right. What's worse? Trading Trey to Minnesota or getting Kirk Cousins in the trade?
What's worse? I would say trading Trey to Minnesota. I think Kirk Cousins will be a good quarterback for the Niners, in my opinion, under Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we would lose if we had Kirk Cousins. I'm not going to say I like that, so I'm going to definitely say trading to Trey to Minnesota would be worse because I still believe in Trey. I'd like to see what we can do with him.
Yeah, but to me, Kirk Cousins on this team would be like Jimmy times 10. Like he could retire and Kyle would probably be outside his house with a boombox on his car every morning trying to bring him back. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Well, at least with Cousins, you can keep opposing defense honest with the long deep ball. You couldn't do that with Jimmy. Jimmy, you wouldn't keep an honest defense. With Kirk, you know he can go deep, and if anything, Gray, our receiver, will take advantage of him being on this roster because we can utilize his speed. Now, when it comes to primetime games, I say you take out Kirk and put in Brock, and then during the regular Sunday games, you put in Cousins.
Jed going to the NFL talk about, hey, we got to play on 1:30 on Sunday or we're not going on the field at all. Okay.
Yeah,
we're not built for any other time of the day other than that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, we are not doing nighttime games anymore.
Nope.
Yeah. Nope. It's over. I don't care about my fans. They're gonna be all red. It's gonna be just a sea of red out there.
and other teams have to play around in the Super Bowl too. That those games don't count, but they got to play on Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday, so that Kirk Cousins can feel comfortable.
Yeah, you got to have the Pro Bowl at the same time as the Super Bowl, and it's got to start. The Pro Bowl's got to start a little bit after the Super Bowl. It's not prime time.
I mean, why can't we make this happen, right? Where do we make the trade, right?
Yeah. I'm guessing the 1:30 in the afternoon would conflict with Levi Stadium being a death pit for heat stroke.
Bro,
that wasn't that fun.
Falling out, fainting. It happens almost every year. They have sometimes they'll give away water bottles and stuff so people can. Yeah, and then it's just ridiculous, and they can't do anything about it because of the airport. So,
what up, Corey Davis?
Hello, how you doing?
Wonderful. Better that you're here, sir.
Hola, señor, ¿cómo está, mi amigo? From all the way across the world, ¿cómo está?
Hello, NinerSickness.
Hey, Corey.
Hey,
Ready to rock.
right?
So, Corey, real quick, while I got you here, I don't know how long we're gonna run, but which one's worse? Let's go with this one. Sam Darnold starting or Colton McKivitz starting? Which one do you think's worse?
Which one's worse? I think it would be Sam Donald
Really?
because he don't really. I don't know because I feel like he don't know the off. It's gonna take him time to learn the offense, and
Great
Kobe
point, Corey.
Kid been with this offense for how many? I think 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, already.
Yep, at least.
So I think Sam Donald because
Yeah, I think we got him 2 drafts ago.
I think Sam Donald because he's gonna be learning the system, and I know they say it's hard to learn college system, and it takes at least 2 years to learn the wordings, all the wordings.
Gotcha. Yeah, they do say that. All right, I got another one for you, Corey. What's worse, trading Trey Lance to Minnesota or getting Kirk Cousins in the trade?
This one's kind of hard because I think we still should stick with Trey Lance because he's young, and I've seen Kirk Cousins, and I just don't believe in Kirk Cousins yet. Something about him. It's something about him. It's just like saying, nah, I don't know if he can take the pressure.
To me, it's like Kyle and Kirk Cousins were almost made for each other. You remember Kirk Cousins when the pandemic happened and he was like, if I die, I die. You know what I mean? And then you got Kyle, well, will anybody be alive on Sunday? You know what I mean? It seems like they're just perfect for each other. And to get them on the same team, like I was saying before, like Kirk could retire, and I'm sure Kyle would be at his house every morning calling for him to come back. The boombox.
Fernando.
Yeah,
Corey, how your day been, Corey?
it's been good. Reason why I'm late seeing your message that sent me on here. I was talking to a person to give me help doing some things around the house.
Oh, wonderful. If you ever need help, this is not my thing. You know what I mean? But I know that the Church of Latter-day Saints will always send somebody out to your house to help you. You know what I mean? And they don't ask for anything. They don't. And I'm telling you, you need help. Don't hurt. It doesn't hurt to call somebody. You know what I mean? They can help.
Quick question to Corey: Are you on disability or like SSI by any chance?
Yes, I'm on permanent disability.
Okay, because there's a program out there, and I have to ask my wife what the name of it is. But if you're on SSI or you're permanent disability, it's a program where they'll bring in a person. They'll pay for a person for you to come to your house for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, that's
what
that's who I was having a meeting with.
Oh, good.
Okay. Yeah. You don't pay nothing out of pocket, and it's called in-house something. I forgot what it's called. Okay, yeah, and then you get paid. Like my wife gets paid to take care of me.
Yep.
And even though she really doesn't take care of me that much, but she still gets paid to take. No, and I didn't mean that in a negative.
She doesn't off you in your sleep. That's
I didn't
she's doing good enough.
I didn't mean that in a negative way. She takes care of me more than beyond. But there's certain things I can still do for myself that, in that perspective, not they came out the wrong way. But yeah, it's called it's something in-home services, and you can have your family member get paid for it to take care of you. It's a good government thing. You just got to get approved, and you can get approved. And then the cool thing about that, if you get a family, what is it called? What you get paid to do for me?
Oh, in-home
supply service. So let's say you have a family member, Corey, that does it. Like my wife, she's my provider, right? So it took about a year for it to get approved, but we got back pay for that whole year and one big check once you got approved. So that was like $12,000. So if you have a family member that can do it for you, they'll get paid. If not, you can just bring someone from the outside. They'll get the money, not you, but you can still get the service. And they do everything from cooking, bathing you, hygiene, getting freaky with you, slapping that booty.
Of course, like you don't need to do much except for shake that thing, mama.
They bring their own pole and everything.
Oh no!
Look at Corey.
I'm sure Corey's got one they can use. He's got to go to Middlesex real quick, though. Anybody ever been to New Jersey?
Yeah. What part of New Jersey?
Middlesex.
Oh, Middlesex.
It's a county.
No.
Yeah. It's probably
I have not
sect.
been there.
It's probably sect, but I just don't say it right. You know what I mean? Ever since you can't say it correctly when you've got a mind of a 12-year-old. Come on.
Oh,
asking too much of me.
Having a mind of a 12-year-old is one thing. Going after 12-year-olds is a whole different ballgame.
Oh yeah, dude. I used to make fun. I used to play video games, right? And I met people, all over the United States and the world. Used to know a guy named Sosa from the South, and we used to. We'd always make fun and make jokes of him. I'd always ask him how much a 50-pound bag of lollipops was, right? Like he knew the going rate for him.
That's scary, bro. But what's worse, that or getting shaved with knives?
Oh no! This was all jokes. He wasn't like that. He wasn't like that at all. You know what I mean? We were just doing that to make fun of him.
Oh, okay.
Right? So then he would be saying, we were watching, what was it, Caligula? You ever seen that movie with the weird movie? Back in the day. Anyway, there's a part where they're like, the nephew gets snuffed, right? He's got to go because he's like, he's an heir to the throne, and that, could be, it could be an issue for Caligula. So he has him offed, right? So the whole time he's like, what happened to little boy? And we're like, Sosa trying to get his 50-pound bags of lollipops. But what happened to like, you can't read the room, bro. He got snuffed out. But just because he was asking where the little kid was, we were, that's when everything started, piling on 50-pound bags of lollipops, a van with only one window, you know what I mean? Like the window in the back, you know what I mean? Like just messing with them.
That kind of reminds me of that show, The Walking Dead. I don't know if you guys ever watched The Walking Dead or not, but they had a show where they had the kids look at the flowers because they had to kill the kid, and they just said, look at the flowers, look at the flowers. Kind of reminds me of the lollipop situation. If you haven't watched the show, then you wouldn't know. But if you watch the show, you know exactly what I mean.
I'm glad I stopped watching it before I saw them ice a kid.
Yeah, the kid was so what it was back, during that time, you're dealing with all the walkers, but this kid, you knew he was going to grow up and be a serial killer by his ways he was doing things. So they didn't want they're already dealing with walkers. They don't need a serial killer out there. So they told the kid to look at the flowers, and they offed him.
Ouch. Yeah, that's some weird stuff.
Yeah, that's talk about going dark. I'm like, whoa, what's the writer thinking about this one?
Let's
Let's
see.
get back with Corey and the Pope.
Yeah, Corey, how's your pole? Caught any fish with it?
I love the way he laughs.
You believe better. He said you better delete this video now, LL, before y'all get it cut.
Oh, you know what? I've only had one video. They came in and they cut it out. They cut out like a portion of it in the middle of it. Like they blacked it out or something like that. And then like a couple days later, I went to go check back on the video and they just removed it. And then I just deleted it afterwards because I was like, if you're really going to be that mad about it. It's back when we were doing the chilling at the spot, and we were talking about hip hop and stuff on the weekends, and they didn't like us playing music videos that are already on YouTube.
Get removed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just to me, it's so stupid. Like, okay, don't monetize me, but these videos are already on YouTube. Like, I was able to grab them off of YouTube, play them on YouTube. What's the sense? Okay, don't monetize me, but why do you have to edit out my stream? Why do you have
they can get sued?
But like the videos that I'm playing on there aren't from like Vivo. They're not from the Sony. They're not from that. They're just a regular account. You know what I mean? So if that account's able to have that song on YouTube, then why can't I have a show where that song is played on there with another song that's already, you know what I mean? It's not like this was coming from anywhere else. And I don't know.
Yeah, YouTube just being YouTube, bro.
Yeah. Which, if you guys are content creators, YouTube will ask you what you think and how they're doing. And you could do a survey. And me personally, I just give them all F's about everything. And then hopefully that'll make them be a little bit better. Because they don't really care. You know what I mean? And if you give them, so you know how, have you ever heard somebody say, hey, if you take this survey, you know what I mean? Please take the survey. If you don't give them a 5 out of 5 or a 10 out of 10, it doesn't count. Just so you know, those services aren't set up to kind of judge how things went by. They want to know if you either got a 10 or you didn't. So you putting an 8 doesn't do anything. Doesn't help the guy that came in and fixed it out. You can't, there's no place to say, hey, this is why I gave you an 8. You know what I mean? And that's how it's all ran. It's just, did we get a 10? So if you give them all but zeros, that's when they really start looking at things. Oh, we got Big Mac in the house. What up, Big Mac?
What's up, Big Mac?
I've been trying to get a Big Mac. Want to try and do a show with Big Mac here.
Yeah, he's got a really, really good channel. If you guys haven't subscribed, it's just like he spells it right there. He does 49er breakdowns, and he does other channels, not necessarily other channels, but he does other player information. So if you're interested in learning about how people rehab, how people train, he does interviews with coaches, really good content creator. Definitely go check him out and subscribe.
And if you're on your PC right now watching it, you can click on his little avatar, his logo there, and it should take you right to his channel. You should be able to subscribe. Oh, anytime he says, well, we're going to have to set that up. Does anybody have anything else they want to talk about? Anything bring up? We can keep going. I just don't know what everybody's thinking about. But if you don't have any pressing things that you think to talk about, there's no reason why we should just sit around and make stuff up. Don't want to be like the rest of the people out there, like on Twitter. Holy moly.
I agree. Like, maybe this is just a great way to end it. Appreciate you having me come on. I didn't see the message until, too late. But I hope I got here just quick enough. Again, you know how to send out the bat signals. So if you ever need me, I'll be here. Corey, same thing with you. Appreciate seeing you. And Beto, do you know that NinerSickness guy?
I might know him a little bit.
I got some really cool information for everybody. If you don't mind me sharing it, Ryan.
Yeah, go ahead.
This Niner Sickness guy and me, because my name is Bryant Culp, we are going on East Coast Red and Gold tomorrow podcast.
Woo.
So if you guys are interested, pop in. It's a great show. It starts at 5. I think this guy Niner Sickness is from the West Coast, so I'm hoping me and him can bring the West Coast vibes.
Yeah, I think he's a different NinerSickness than me. If you're referring to me,
You're Beto though, right?
yeah, but not. I'm not. I don't know nothing about no East Coast tomorrow.
Mm.
So
His
hey,
name is
if you're not busy
Nice.
tomorrow, then okay. If you're not busy,
I'm
jump on.
kidding. I'm kidding.
But that's where me and Beto will be tomorrow with Jess and Maddie B and Rebecca. And I don't know if Ty will be there or not. But if you guys haven't,
I don't think Ty will be there because
he's
he
on
wasn't there.
vacation.
Yep.
Yeah.
He'll be back next week, I believe, because I took his spot last week on the show, and he said he was out for a couple weeks, which I was, I was kind of a little disappointed. Jess, you're gonna invite me on when Ty's gone? Like, not to say that you guys aren't good, but like I can't get the full experience. Jeez.
Or maybe she thought that you were so. Maybe she thought that you were as good as Ty that she wanted to bring somebody Ty's capabilities and brought you, bro. Maybe and didn't want to bring me or Colt because we couldn't handle it.
Beto, you've done way too many shows with me to actually believe that.
Yeah, I know. But it sounded nice.
All I can say is I'm more than excited. I'm super excited, very flattered, and I will be there. And shout out to East Coast Red and Gold Radio Podcast. If you haven't, they're definitely a great show. Go like and subscribe. Get your wife's phone, subscribe with it. She won't get mad. I did it with mine. But they put a lot of great content out there, and I mean, you guys just keep grinding. That's my little bit of news for the day.
Yeah, I won't be able to see it till I get home. I'll be in dialysis.
I'll be praying while you're in dialysis, brother.
I wanted to real quick shout out to CarCast here. He's a great content creator out there on the West Coast, giving us all this 49ers content. Please go and subscribe to his show. But also, hey, CarCast. This was kind of a last-minute impromptu thing. We didn't really drop the link. I just kind of sent them out for some people. But Fridays, we got the Friday night call-in every Friday on my show. This week it's at 5 o'clock. We're trying 5 o'clock out. Normally it's at 7. We go to 7 to 12, but since it's at 5, that might be a good time for you to jump in. So, yeah.
Hey Ryan, with that said, I'm going to be part of your Friday show every Friday, bro.
Okay.
Every single Friday. So make sure to keep that seat open.
You got it.
No, just kidding. I can't be that. I can't be heartless like that. I'm not a dick. We'll share your show.
Well, I was thinking the same thing in my head, but you said it, and I was like, yeah, well, Ryan already knows. If he needs me, I'll be there, and he knows Corey will be there. So I don't think you were saying anything that any of us weren't thinking about. Ryan drops the link. We talk for a little while. When we run out of shit, people come on, and they start saying stuff after that, and it's like, hey, it just keeps the show going. And then randomly, I'll drop a hot link, like really hot, and then Ryan will be in the background, and he'll be like, oh my god. But then, like, the show goes on for another hour, and it works. So,
there's times where I'm like, why is Brian even saying this right now? It's like, there's times where I'm like, I can think of 10 reasons why that's not a good idea right now. And
you try to unwind it down to end it, and he starts a fresh new topic.
Bro.
And see, I'm not getting the vibe like, oh, we're gonna end right now. So I'm like, hey, this is a great topic, and then I just that's what
he's not getting it, bro. Everybody's falling asleep on the show. They're all tired, and Ryan's like, hey, let's bring one more topic.
I'll be sitting there talking for like 10 minutes. I'll start my own Niner rap.
let's talk 49er quarterback controversy. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to be out here.
Next Friday's topic will be how do we keep Ryan for keeping the show going longer than it needs to?
I keep getting muted. Oh boy.
Oh, Corey, shout out your channel.
Yes. Okay, tomorrow I'm doing a Giants trivia, YTC.
Oh.
And so, because, you know, I got the Giants book on me. And because he's always been on my channel. So I said, I might as well get the Giants book so he can participate. So now I'm doing him on Wednesdays and doing my 49ers
that
trivia
doesn't
on
sound right,
Thursday.
Corey. You're doing him on what? You're doing him on Wednesday?
Is that going to be on like OnlyFans or what streaming service are you using for that one? Does he know?
Hold on for a minute. I gotta go check something out. Somebody's in my house.
Okay.
Oh. Maybe it's the guy on Wednesday. Coming on Tuesday.
I hope everything's okay.
Yeah. See, Corey moves faster than me. Somebody break into my house. By the time I get to the front door, he can be here, watch a movie, and then leave.
Beto comes in the front room.
Closed. Yeah, the door's closed, and I'm like, "Who's here?" He's gone.
He's gone. There's already wrappers. He's already had fucking snacks and shit.
Yeah.
Watch the movie. There's a bag of popcorn on there. You're finally coming down the hallway. Who is it? Who is it? My grandpa, when he was he was getting older, right? He had dementia, Alzheimer's. I can't remember which one my mom said. I think it was dementia. But she said that it took him like a half a day to walk down the hallway, except for in the middle of the night when he was having flashbacks. You know, he's like 90 something years old at this point, you know, and he's like barely walking down the hall during the days. But then at night, when he thinks he's 30 years old again, he's running down the hallway. He can open up the door, they had one of them like old school screen doors where you had to hit the little metal button on the thing and then push it to go out. Well, he could like do this little snap thing and the door would just open. So like he's 90 years old, boom. And then he's sprinting down the street because he thinks he's 30 years old again. He doesn't know that his body is 90. My grandma always had a hunch. You know, she was like hunched over a little bit, very tall lady, but she kind of hunched over. So like she was in her dementia time and she thinks she's looking for a purse to go with a hat. And she's asking my mom, where's this purse? Mom goes, I don't know, Mom. And she said, I looked at her and I realized she was standing straight up. She's looking for a purse that she had something like 40, 50 years ago. And she's standing straight up instead of being all hunched over like she would have been, because in her mind, she wasn't hunched over because she's back 30 years where she was standing upwards like that. So it's crazy stuff the mind could do. Crazy stuff the mind could do.
You know, it's funny with that. Let me share a quick story. I remember when I was dating a girl, her grandmother had Alzheimer's. And I'll sit there waiting. I'll be waiting for my girlfriend to get ready, and she'll be like, "Where are you from, mijo?" And I'm like, "I'm from San Jose," and she'll tell me the history of San Jose. After a while, but I'm making up shit. Like, I'm from Dallas. I'm from She used to be a truck driver. She used to travel around the world, so she'd tell me all these things about the places she's been to. And I remember one time we were at her grandma's house, and she was asleep, and me and my girlfriend were fooling around in the living room. We decided to have sex, and I look over her shoulder, and her grandma's just standing there looking at us. And I'm like, oh crap! And then so my girlfriend kind of got embarrassed, and she's like, "We gotta stop." I'm like, me being a guy, right? I'm like, "No, don't stop. Who cares? She's gonna forget about this in 5 minutes anyway." Yeah, it didn't work out very well. She got mad at me for that. But I was like, if they forget everything anyway. She's not going to remember it. But because she used to tell me, where you from? I'm like, from San Jose. And then 5 minutes later, where you from? New York. 5 minutes later, where you from? Texas. And I was just like, you know, they remember the past, they just don't remember the present.
Yeah.
It's funny with that. So when we were having sex, and she was like, "My grandma's watching." I'm like, "Who cares? She's gonna forget in 5 minutes anyway."
My grandma kept asking me where Frank was. That's my grandpa's name.
Oh yeah.
One time I told her, I said, "Grandpa's dead."
Ouch.
And like you saw the look on her face. And I told my mom, I said, "I don't know if I did the right thing there." She says, "What?" I said, "She asked me where Grandpa was. Told her the truth." And she goes, "Yeah, that's not always the best way." And I was like, "So what do you do?" She goes, I tell her he's at the store." And I was like, "Makes sense." And every time she go, "Where's Frank?" I said, "Oh, he's at the store." And okay. Like, and it was like, you don't have to
Because you will
tell her
grieve all over again, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's when big mistake. I'm not trying to do that to grandma, every time she asks. You know what I mean? It's just better just to say he's at the store. She's going to live a much better life. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, yeah, you're right. You know, I hear the story. He's there. He's getting you flowers. She can get all happy about it. You know, because she's gonna ask again. But
Yeah.
if when you say she's dead, I can imagine, her thought
She's
process.
gotta
Even
go.
though she'll forget, but she's still gonna feel that for that moment.
Yeah. She's got to go through it all over again. It's just, why put your grandma through that? It's just a little white lie. What's up, Corey?
So my sister-in-law, she has dementia.
Oh yeah.
So she don't remember much.
It's it's hard on the people around. My grandma.
People change too when they have that Alzheimer's. I remember my neighbor's mom, the sweetest lady, never cussed, always very loving. And when she got the disease, man, she became a freaking sailor. F-bombs everywhere.
I told I'm sorry, I'm surprised because my sister-in-law we put a thermometer thing that you track how many steps and how many miles pedometer on her, because all she do was used to walk, never had to sit. So we have her in the backyard. She walked around the whole backyard, and we had one on her. And it said like she walked like from Richmond to San Jose.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, they do things that a lot of times it's crazy, bro. It's people change. I can't imagine living with someone going through something like that, man. Especially because the people say that they become different people. It's like you don't even recognize them anymore, like who they were.
My grandpa like that.
My grandma was the same lady. It's just she didn't know who I was. There was a 1.5-day period where she knew I was her grandson. And she was so proud of me. She was like, she just saw I was tall and I was strong. You know what I mean? And she thought I was, handsome, for her grandson, handsome enough, you know what I mean? So she was, she was proud of me. She was like, "Hey, I got a big, strong, tall grandson." You know what I mean? And she was so excited. But then every other day that I was down there for that, half a year and 6 to 8 months, it was, I'm the nice guy from the home. And it wore on me a little bit in the beginning. But then, how can you, like, she doesn't know what the hell she's doing. If she wasn't in that state, she would feel horrified by addressing me as the nice guy at the home. And when you think about it, she thinks I'm nice. She doesn't know who I am, but she thinks I'm nice. You know what I mean? So really, I got over that, I'd say about 1.5 months in, 2 months in. It's kind of hard, I don't know. And until you can kind of understand what's going on in somebody's brain a little bit more, can you actually kind of, relate to them? Even though it's, I can't relate to the situation because I'm not there, but I can understand, hey, they're not meaning any of this. This is just what their brain's doing to them right now.
Yeah,
know?
Yeah, my sister.
they're prisoners to themselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
My
a hormone.
sister-in-law. It's funny. We cracked up because my brother had to take her to the hospital because she was going too fanatic, and so he picked her up out of the car, and the security guard was standing like this in line. He said, "I got her," and he's walking with her in his arms, and as she passed by the security guard, she goes, "You a mother, you a mother, you a mother," and she get to the last old Caucasian white man and go, "Oh, you cute." And we like, and he looked at his other partners. He's like, "See, y'all got called mother. I got called. I'm cute."
He got the Riz. You know what that is, Corey?
No.
The Riz is like, you got the swag like that where you can just, go up and get women's notice. Yeah, he got the Riz. The other guy didn't. That's why he was an MFer. Game recognized game. When she got to the end of the hallway, she knew what she was in front of. Hey, this guy a player right here. They come in all shapes, sizes, and colors.
Yes, but I remember she now we could take her out now. She's kind of calmed down. But I remember before we couldn't take her out. It's hard to take her out of the house, take her to places, restaurants, because she'll go. I remember one time we was at this place and this man was walking with his beer in his hand like this, and she walked up to him, act like she was gonna give him a hug, and took his beer.
Well,
like I said, game recognized game. Hold on.
One thing I gotta say is you gotta pay attention to your family, and sometimes like the illnesses that your family has, there's could be underlying things that could happen to you later on, and it's good to know about what your family goes through because some people have diabetes and it does come to you later on in life. Alzheimer's is something that runs through my family, and I'm very nervous about it. Alzheimer's comes through. I'm not a doctor, but the way I understand it, it comes off of your mother's side. So my great grandmother on my mother's side has Alzheimer's, and it passes to generally the son, and then it will pass from the son to the daughter, and then from the daughter to the son. So I'm fingers crossed and everything. I hope we can live a healthy life and don't have to experience Alzheimer's. But I see it in my great grandmother. I see it in my grandfather. I don't want to say I see it in my mom, but there's things that's happening that I'm like, hey, are you, it's something I'm definitely concerned about and worried about. And
don't worry, don't be worried, Brian. It only affects smart people.
Well, and that's why I'm really worried because my mom's really smart, so she's the smartest person I know.
I would reference you. It's going to skip you right over.
Well, and see, I understand that, so I mean, I feel safe there.
It's I'm not worried about myself.
I'm worried about the smart one.
Hey, really quick, if that's something you're worried about, fish oil pills, okay, they help, but don't get the yellow or the orange ones. Those are hot pressed, okay? You got to take like 4 of them to equal one of the little red ones. The little red ones, they're cold pressed. They're going to be red, and those are the ones to get.
But one thing I did want to say is it is upsetting when you go and see like your great grandmother. She's on your mom's side, right? And she doesn't recognize your mom's dad, my grandfather, but she recognizes my dad, who's not even related to her. Not even. He only knew her like this long, and she's totally. So whatever happened. She's got some kind of I don't remember my son. I remember my granddaughter. I remember my granddaughter's husband. I don't remember my son. So hug your mom, hug your dad, hug your family.
True.
Most definitely. First thing, I want to give a shout out to Eric Wallace, subscribing to our guy CarCast. Eric Wallace, Seahawks fan extraordinaire, coming out here supporting all these people in the 49ers community, left and right. Got to say shout out to him. And David McNiner over here, talk about Chad Ryland being better than Jake Moody. I believe this was pointed at somebody on the panel here. I don't know. They might have just got off because they knew that this was pointed at them. But does anybody have any thoughts on Chad Ryland being better than Jake Moody? Has anybody watched any tape on kickers here?
Not me.
Other than Bryant. I'm guessing
The
Bryant
fact
left.
that we're talking about kickers should tell you this show should come to an end.
Yep. Well, this is I was gonna do this as the last question. So if somebody
I'm like, we're talking about kickers.
If somebody, starts the first hour of the show and sped over the last half an hour of the show, they would go, oh, they talked about Niners the whole time. Don't get me wrong, it was great going off topic. I think we got on some good stuff.
Kickers are people too. No, we had
They
great
are.
topics. I had fun. I had a blast. I'm glad I came out.
Bryant.
Yeah, I seen it. I'm gonna have to Google it. I've written down a couple guys on my kicking radar. Me and my wife, we've been doing our little mini pre-draft projects. Who's
Tony's favorite?
And she likes Moody too. We both like that guy from Syracuse, I think too.
Tony's favorite is Brian.
Oh,
well, yeah, I am her best and her favorite kicker.
Her favorite kicker, yeah.
But no, I'm gonna write his name down. I'm gonna go look at him. But for what I have on my board right now, I have Jake Moody from Michigan. I have Jack Poldensee. I can't say his name. Poldensee. I apologize. From Georgia. Christopher Dunn from North Carolina State. Andrews Carlson from Auburn. BT Potter from Clemson. We got Will Reichard from Alabama, and then we have Andre, and I can't pronounce his name, but he's from Syracuse, and that's who I'm kind of hoping they'll get, because it's something fun, when you get somebody's name on a jersey and you can't pronounce it, that's always especially a kicker. You're like, yeah, that's gonna be going in my closet right there. So,
Bryant wants a kicker with a lot of K's in his last name.
Because you'll be knowing, the strikeout, it's one of those things. You see a bunch of K's, they're doing a good thing, right?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's like, give me one of them.
And I'll write that one down too. Bebop just wrote out Will Riker from TNG.
I don't know about Jake Moody. He might be in a bad mood all the time. He misses kicks.
If he doesn't miss kicks. Maybe his bad
then he'll be in a good mood.
Maybe bad moods make him accurate. All right, Pat. Well, with that, guys, I'm going to wrap up the show here.
Great show.
Any new Niner news that I didn't hear about?
No, really, there wasn't.
Anybody today?
There was no, we didn't get anybody. There's nothing. Everything in the news cycle is rehashed. I was I clicked on somebody's report and they were talking about stuff that happened at the owners meeting and trying to act like it was new news. They just were writing an outline, kind of more supporting things. So to me,
Corey's pulling up Brian right now.
Yeah. No, it's a dead news cycle at the moment.
Now. It almost went over my head. I got it now. With that, everybody, we're out, right? Go Niners.
Go Niners.
Yep. Go Niners.
Vámonos, Niners.